Star Wars fans, welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. Today I'm going to be going through my 10 most wanted Star Wars vintage collection action figures. Okay then, so after conversations with fellow collectors and fans on Twitter and other social media platforms, I've come up with a list of the 10 most wanted figures for the vintage collection line. Now I'm sure many of you will disagree with this list, and that is absolutely fine. However, I'm hoping that many of you will agree with my selections. If a particular character isn't on the list and that you feel that it should be, please let me know your suggestions in the comments down below. I'll read all my comments, so it'll be interesting to see who you guys want the most in any upcoming waves. And if you enjoy this video, smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so these aren't in any particular order, it's just the 10 figures I feel need to be made. So first up we have General Marik from Rogue One. This guy was a bit of a fan's favourite from the film, and we are yet to have him in any action figure form. This guy would look great on a vintage card in his blue flight suit, sporting his cool 70s style moustache. I find it pretty odd that we haven't had a Marik in any form, considering the big role he had in the film. Who knows, maybe they could even release a Blue Squadron X-Wing at a later date too, as part of the vintage line. I'm pretty sure we'd have no complaints about that at all. It'd be really, really cool. The second figure I have on my list is Luke Skywalker in his Endor poncho from Return of the Jedi. Now I know this figure was part of the Saga Collection line a few years back, so maybe Hasbro can update the head sculpt with their new face technology, and pretty much the rest of the figure would be pretty spot on, I would imagine. So it may just need a few more points of articulation and that vintage style card. I'm pretty sure that nobody would have any complaints if this figure was released in 2019. On to number 3, we have Bib Fortuna, another figure released in the Saga Collection line. I think this guy could really do with a redo. The Saga Collection line, he looked a bit funny with his mouth open and everything. I wasn't really too keen on it myself, so I reckon they could make him look a lot better. And with the release of the Jabba sail barge next year, I'm pretty, I think we could do with that Bib Fortuna figure. Again, a classic original trilogy character on that vintage card would be awesome. So next up we have Admiral Holdo. Okay, I'm just kidding. So whatever you think of this character, I'm pretty sure it'd make an awful action figure in my opinion. I'm pretty sure it'd be a peg warmer like the Constable Zuvio. And we're going to be getting her in the 6-inch line, and I really, to be honest, could do without her in the vintage collection. I don't think she's necessary at all. So on to the real fourth figure on my list, carrying on the pilot theme, and a female character from The Last Jedi that would be worth making. And this one is Tallie Lintra, also known as Tallie. And I'm not really sure why I like this character so much. I just think she looks really, really cool. The yellow flight suit looks really good design. The helmet looks great. And I think Hasbro would do a decent job with her. I wish they made more of her in the film. I kind of think she could have been like the Wedge Antilles of the sequel trilogy. So I'm pretty, it's a bit of a shame that they killed her off, really. Okay, so on to number 5, Two Tubes. We do have a standard 5POA version of this guy. He was released in the Jeddah 4-pack, and in my opinion is a top figure. They could give him an even greater detail with the super articulation. Make a great figure for the collection. The character looks super cool in Rogue One, and I just feel that we need him on a vintage card. Number 6, Saw Gerrera, another figure from the Jedi 4-pack, and another great example of how good the standard 5PO figures have been of late. Hasbro have really upped the game in my opinion. However, a super articulated version of Saw Gerrera, one of the main characters from Rogue One, it's a must for a vintage card. So talking of main characters from Rogue One leads me nicely on to the main villain himself, Director Krennic. So we have two choices here. I wouldn't mind either him in his Imperial Bureau Security white uniform. I would imagine this could be a scaled down version of the 6-inch Black Series line, or they could go with him in his wet gear from the start of the film. Either figure, in my opinion, would look great, flanked by the Death Troopers that we've had from the previous wave. So come on Hasbro, let's get him on a vintage card. On to number 8. So I think it's about time we had another Darth Maul figure. This one could be based on the one from Solo. So even though he had a very little screen time, spoiler alert, I think it'd be good to have a Darth Maul with the mechanical legs. This would service the new Solo film, the Clone Wars, the Rebels, and any fans of the prequel trilogy that just want to see a new Maul in any way, shape or form. On to number 9 on this list is Admiral Raddus. Now I know this list seems to be dominated by Rogue One characters, but there are so many that we need in the vintage line. Jyn and Cassian were repacks of the Black Series. You know, they're the main characters, but there's nothing really too interesting about them. We got the tank driver, which was great, and we're going to be getting the Scarif Trooper as a repack. But we need a Raddus, in my opinion. Another big character from Rogue One that is currently missing. Last on the list, and certainly not the least, is Captain Rex. I feel it's time for a new Captain Rex. I have the old 3.75 inch Black Series, which is an awesome figure, but they can do so much more to update him. The new photo real face technology for a start, and if anywhere near the standard of the 6-inch version, then we'll be getting hell of a figure. So get him on the vintage card for that extra awesomeness. So there is my top 10, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, which ones you agree on. Let me know if you feel that there's a figure that deserves to be on that list. And before I go, there's obviously a couple of honourable mentions which didn't make the list. So we could have an Obi-Wan, the New Hope version. Now I know we did get him on the original trilogy card, but I think his cloak was a little bit big and baggy. So maybe do some better soft goods for him there and update the figure. And then of course a new Bossk. Now I know the Bossk figure from the Saga collection is a great figure. I have him on card and I have him loose as well. But what the hell, let's update him and put him on the vintage collection line, because you can never have too many Bosks. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.